the front end, to introduce the web, and to introduce the basic technologies that are involved in web development. Don't get me wrong, nikisema full stack development, kwa tuna revolve around a stack called man. I think I shine. Niliwa introduce kwa the man stack last time, and it's a stack that revolves or is mainly powered by a language called JavaScript. For those who are here, it's alright. For those who don't know, we shall guide you through the languages and technologies that are used in web development. So leo tutafanya kuintroduce I hoped that introduce HTML and the web itself. So we are going to introduce the web in general and the technologies that are used in web development. And by that, I need to share my slides right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's topic, today's whatever you want to call it. And it's the main focus will be introducing technologies. So the web inakuwa mostly referred to as the world, kama vile mnasikianga watu wakisema www. So basically that's what they mean by the web. So the interconnected public web pages accessible through the internet, which users to access and share information globally. The World Wide, and that's why inaitwa World Wide Web. It's a sort of link process as mtu anaweza access from anywhere in the globe. The web is not the same as the internet itself, or it is built on top of the internet, and it's just one of its applications. The internet, I'm not sure if all of you umepitia that unit ya education. Okay, assume that we are fresh to the zinakubalia individual computers that are connected to that internet could have resources and information from either parties. So basically that's the whole idea behind the web. People refer to links as address. It's an address to access some resources na to access some particular resources on the internet. So today tutakuwa tunaangalia the web and the technologies that revolve around web development. So what is a website? These are just the basic stuff, but we shall go through them. So a website is a collection of publicly available web pages that are interconnected and share a single domain. Don't worry if this sounds like mambo jumbo. Tutaipitia in detail in a few. We just want to introduce the basic stuff, then to end it to the good stuff, the practical stuff. I know techies are kwangi, so our pendi so much stories and stuff. You want the technical, practical stuff. We are getting to that really soon. Just bear with me. So websites are hosted on servers and require a web such as Chrome, Firefox, or Brave browser to be visible. So in this case, okay, you remember tulisema the web server ama the websites ama the iko na two parts, iko na the front end part and the back end part, and that's why we are calling this whole thing full stack development, because our aim is to explore the front end part, which is the part that the client interacts with, and in this case the client need these things, a web browser, Firefox or whatever. So hiyo unatumia kuinteract na the website. Alafu sasa kuna the back end part yenye iko na authentication, database and all that stuff. Tutapitia through all that and we shall see these things. Ukiona ni kama zina sound a little extreme, don't worry. Tuta clear the fog within the coming days. So don't you fret. What is a web server? A web server is a computer software and underlying hardware that accepts requests. We shall see these requests, and hopefully we shall create our own via HTTP, which is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or its secure variant. So you remember I mentioned that there's a unit, I don't know, maybe some of you may have covered it and some of you may have not, inaitwa data communication. So it deals with the transfer. Don't you usijali na hizi terms, ni just the transfer of data from one point to another ama from another. Vile unaweza tuma text from your phone kwa WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger or whichever platform that you use to another user of the same application na aione. However, your text imekuwa transferred from your phone to their phone, ama either being text, either being a video or an image. That's the whole idea ya data communication, and maana we have this HTTP and HTTPS transfer protocols and stuff. You don't worry about those things. They shall become clear in a few. So that loads a website. So new what maybe at some point in time umetumia website ya kuregister units, kureport for semester, kuangalia results, all that stuff. So whenever you load a website, ukienda pale unaandika inakuanga install.student.embuni.ac.ke. I don't know the link, lakini inakuanga something like that ukiingia kwenye portal yako. So that you as the client unatumia the thing that we have seen up here. This, I don't know if you can see my pointer. Let me select this. You use either of these, Firefox, Chrome or whatever browser you're using. So you load a website, the web server. So web servers, mahali hizo files zimewekwa, hizo pictures zenye unaonanga kwa website ya shule, hizo videos zenye zinakuanga kwa website ya shule, hizo pictures za the lecturers and stuff. So all those things, we will be building those things, and you'll get to feel the thrill of creating and feeling the sweetness of creating those things. So all those things are stored somewhere. So when you load a website, it retrieves the relevant meaning the file related to that particular website or particular, and sends them to the user's browser. Web services from user agents such as web browsers or web crawlers, and respond with error messages. Okay, error messages at a point in time, I know umewahi patana na ile error ya 404 not found. Kuna ingine unapatanga unauthorized for, kuna ingine unapatanga okay, those are the most kuna ingine unapatanga bad gateway. So those are the error messages. Either you can, when you make a request, you can either receive whatever you have asked for, ama error messages. Kuna unapatanga 500 ikimaanisha internal, all that stuff. So there are 3 technologies zenye zinatumikanga kwa web development, and those are the languages we are going to introducing ourselves to. One of them is HTML. Nataka tuende one by one. I can give you a pick. I don't know if there's somewhere I can. Let me create a slide. I don't know. Ooh la la. Let me. Okay, we shall get to that. So today we want to introduce 2 of the main technologies in for front-end development, and one of them is HTML. Maybe some of you might have heard about it, some of you might have not. So don't worry, tutaenda step by step. I'll hold your hand through. So HTML, you might have encountered watu wakiargue whether it's a language or it's not. We are not going to get into that today. So HTML basically stands for Hypertext Markup Language, which is the standard document format for web pages that is supported by all modern browsers. You remember we have mentioned that if you access web pages through a web browser. So hypertext is the ability to turn a piece of text to a hyperlink, which we can call simply a link. So ile yenye unaandikanga hapo juu unaandika www.google.com in the case of Google, that's the hypertext, or it's the hyperlink. So hypertext part of H into a hyperlink, which is simply referred to as a link, that makes HTML so that viewers can visit any document. The document here in reference, tutaiangalia. The document is what you get, everything that loads. Let me see if I can access I can share my. We shall get to that. Acha tupite the literature kwanza. I know you don't like the literature, lakini please bear with me. It will be only a moment. Is a set of instructions that uses opening and closing tags. We shall get to that, with having the content in it, which helps to render the content in the structured format. So HTML basically is a structured way of rendering tags on a website. So there's a little HTML background story. It was invented by Tim Berners-Lee, who was founded in
ameenda. So I just kindly request you, I just kindly request you be patient kidogo, maybe ako na connectivity issues. So let's just wait for him in a few.
Yeah, hello guys. It's like we lost Washington. Yeah, and I'm not near my laptop right now, so I don't think I'll be able to access the slides I have. Yeah, so I think I'll try to just talk about a few things about how the web works. Yeah, just echoing what Washington was saying. Yeah. So Elcome mentioned that in our website we have the front end part and the back end part, and we'll start covering from the front end part. So in the front end part, that's where we're going to use HTML and CSS. We're going to start with that, HTML and CSS. So HTML alikuwa amesema it stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and that's the language that is used to display the content of our website. Like everything you see in our website, like from the header, from the everything that you see inakwanga in HTML. And then for the CSS, it means cascading style sheets. That's all the styling that you see. Kama the header iko aligned katikati, if the header is aligned, let's say uko on the right, maybe some of the hover, like ukihover mouse pahali unaona hii kitu imechange color ama imeongezeka font size. Basically just all the styling and that's CSS. So HTML and CSS, they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand to ensure that website imetokea user interface yake imetokea vizuri. Yes, so I want to be able right now to show a HTML code. I'm actually using my phone. Yeah, laptop ime die, electricity issues. Yes, so as I was saying, that's basically how it works, the front end part of it. And then we have the backend, which mostly consists of the server, the database. Yeah, so in this case, we can have a site like, let's just take an example of our school website, the student portal. Whatever you see there is the front end. Everything from the colors, the styling, the new logo imekuwa placed, that's the front end. Yeah, and then for the back end, we can start from ukishaenda kwa hiyo portal.embuni.ac.ke unapatanga there's that login page. Once you start filling in your details, it sends a request to the backend, to the server or the database to check whether the credentials are true. If the credentials that you've put there matches the ones in the database, it will be logged in. If it's not, it will refuse and tell you incorrect password or username. And also, you might as well have forgotten the password, and there's an option to reset your password. So this is one good thing about this. Okay, I think I'll be out of topic, but a good thing, the database passwords are stored in hashed format. So if you hit forget password, there's no way they'll tell you your password. They'll have to send you a link to reset your password because they also don't know it. Once umesave a password, it will go to the database ikiwa hashed. Basically just kama sasa nimeweka password yangu ni Alex, ikienda huko utapata it's maybe 20J capital C blah blah blah, just a series of symbols, letters and numbers to represent your password, and it's a one-way process. So once umepeleka, there's no going back, and that's one good thing. So that's basically the backend. So from the backend, ukisha login already itakuwa the database is organized in a way that we have the credentials of each and every student. So right now, if I'm to log into my account, I'll only access my details from my school fees balance, the units I'm doing, the course I'm doing. That's my scope. Scope ni like kama sahi, there are things you can access and no one else can't access. Just assume your M-Pesa. Hauwezi access M-Pesa mtu mwingine, you can just access your own M-Pesa because you have your PIN. So that's the same case. So once umeingia, the data is organized, but we'll cover much once tumeingia in the back end. So for now, we're dealing with the front end where nimwambia tutatumia HTML and CSS to start with, and from there we're going to work with frameworks. In this case, because we're dealing with the man stack, we're going to use React, which is a JavaScript framework. So JavaScript, okay, HTML, CSS, and a little. So what I was saying, JavaScript, assume you're creating a blog website, or just a simple website like Citizen Digital. And if you look at the HTML and CSS code, hatuwezi kuwa tunakuja and we start writing maybe code for each and every blog, because unajua one thing about coding, we always need clean code. So we have to reduce the repetition or redundancy in your code, and that's where frameworks come in. So we're going to use the framework, in this case React, to reduce your redundancy, instead of, because hizo vitu zote, the blog first of all iko na header, iko na date, iko na author, and iko na the content. Instead of doing all that, we can just put it as a, let me call it kama ka placeholder. So tukileta tu content yetu ni kutumia hizo details hapo, and I'll just ndasema tu ina run as a loop to access that information. Yes, so basically that's an overview. That's an of just the web from what I know. In case kuna mtu anaweza dai kwa something, you can just ask for presenter mode and then we'll grant you. Yeah, so I don't think Washington is back. Let me try to ask him.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, yes, tunakusikia.
I don't know how many times I'm going to say this. Please bear with me, and I'm really sorry. I think the electricity in our area is, I don't know, I think there's something wrong with the heavy rains or something. It's inakuja ikienda. Please forgive me. So ni wapi ndo tuli lose track. I was introducing HTML and wait, hold on. Before niendelee, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Alex Njogu. He's a buddy of mine, and we've been covering the journey of development naye, so big up Alex Njogu. I'm really sorry about the mishappenings. Fingers crossed it won't happen again. So acha tumalizie the part. Actually, we were just right about to finish the introductory part ya HTML. Yeah, this is where we were. So tulikuwa tumeona the structure, ni tags and everything. This is the basic structure. You create whatever is there on the website inakuanga as a result of tags. So whatever you can think of, an image, a form, an input, the search area, mahali una search uko kwa website ndani, the text, everything and anything that is inside the website, it is displayed by these tags. So there are specific tags for everything that you can see on a website. So leo tulikuwa, as you can see, kwa nini, kwa the poster ya Jam, unaweza ona hapo hivyo chini. Wait, hold on. Do you guys know the logo ya HTML? I think I need to show that kwanza. Please allow me to share my entire screen so that if I switch between nini mnaweza ona. Let me share my entire screen rather than just a single window. Let me share the entire screen. Just a minute. So as you can see in today's poster, leo tulikuwa tuna today's study jam was about two things. Ukiweza angalia bottom left corner, unaweza ona there are two logos. So one of them is for HTML and the other is for CSS. For those who know, this is a pop quiz. Wenye wanajua, tell us which is which. In the meantime, let me share the entire window, the entire screen, so that we can see everything that I switch around with. There we go. Oh, the thing. So the HTML logo. First, look for that. This is the HTML logo, for those who don't know. The A hapa hivi. This is the standard one. Hiyo yenye iko na 5 ndani. And this 5 is basically the version ya HTML5. So we shall see that in a few. Let me actually open my development tool. Nimesahau vile inaitwa IDE. Yes, IDE. Let me open my IDE so we can see. Oh, sorry about that. I need to close that. Did I actually open this? In a minute, as it loads. So leo tulikuwa tunataka kuintroduce the technologies that are involved in the web development. Those two are the main technologies. Sorry, not those two. These two are the basic, the HTML and CSS. As you can see hapo hivyo chini kwa the poster, you can see these two logos. Kuna HTML, CSS. So there's HTML5 and there's CSS3. So for those who didn't know, that's the standard logo ya HTML as a language. So we shall take you through. Okay, before imalize setting up, let me sort of echo what nimepata Alex asema. So as you may have noticed, kwa the man stack hakuna mahali tunasema HTML ama JS directly. Tunasema Mongo, tunasema Express, tunasema React, na tunasema Node. But as I mentioned in our first session, man is a stack that is powered or revolves around JavaScript as a language. So the front end and the back end tutakuwa tunatumia JavaScript as our main language. Well, I'll leave the argument kwa whether HTML is a language or it's not to the people who would like to venture into that. Lakini JavaScript will be the language that will be powering the stack that we'll be using. So let me close this. This is some React I was doing earlier. Let me close this. I don't know why it's taking forever to load, but please bear with me. I have a rather lazy machine. So in a very short while, tutakuja ku understand what Orish is. But in the meantime, before then, let's take it easy. No, to feel overwhelmed or something like that. So one thing, my motto, ama whatever you might call it, is that meet something new, usikuwe intimidated or overwhelmed. I think it would be nice if you approached it with the energy ya kukuwa inspired, and that will come a long way if you approach things with the energy ya kukuwa inspired to learn new stuff. So that's the end I want around here. Just be open to learn new things, and you shall learn new things. So I want to show you the main structure, or the basic structure ya language. Today we shall introduce HTML and CSS. In the next session, introduce JavaScript, so we can put some flavor into our development. So if kuna any questions up to that point, please. Thank you, Alex, kwa ku note down the things. Forgive me for hiyo mirror, infinity mirror effect. You'll have to bear with me. Share the entire screen and showing everything and anything. So thank you, Alex, for showing the acronym kuiandika hivyo. Thank you. So let's close. I don't know why it's taking forever, but I think now iko sawa. You can open the video. I think it should be okay if we use the desktop. It's taking forever. And please, if anyone has a question, unaweza uliza in the meantime as we wait for my quite unresponsive laptop to respond. What's that? So if kuna mtu akona any queries, reach out kwa the chat. I'll read them and we can clear the mist together. Let's use the desktop. I think that's a good choice. Use it. Please have it. So I think it's alright. So let's see. We can close that and start afresh. So don't worry about these things. Okay, there's this sort of markdown I had created. Yeah, our study jam. I wanted to show you there. Where's the preview? Oh yes, thank you. I think it is showing now. We can hide that for a moment and we can show the. Why won't it show? Let me check the chat's corner. So something is really wrong with my editor. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I think now it's operational. Let's try and see if we can view those things. In the meantime, let's create a new file. Yeah, HTML. For those who are not familiar, I think by now mnaweza kuwa notice the pattern. If you're creating a HTML, the first language yenye tulikuwa tunaandika ya C. If you noticed, ulikuwa unaandika the extension. If you're creating a file, ulikuwa unaandika the extension with .c. Kama ni C++, unaandika .c++, I mean .cpp, I think. Na ile CSS unaandikanga .css, na kama ni JavaScript unaandika .js. So HTML is the file extension ya HTML files. So if we created a HTML file, you can see that the editor automatically detect it's a HTML file na hiyo the logo, this logo yenye nilikuwa nimeonyesha ya HTML file. So let's create this example here. Hii yenye tumepewa iko kwa slide. Oh, it's opening all of them. Close that, close that, close that, and that. So if we checked this structure that we had been given here, where did it go? So there's this HTML structure, some tags. As you can see here, kuna the version of HTML, kuna the opening, the HTML root element. There's the head part used to contain page HTML data. This is very important. It's very important that you keep in mind the use metadata. We shall see in the coming examples of code. And you can see that the body part holds the content of the HTML. Then there are the elements. So these are the elements and these are the tags. So tutaangalia, I will send you a very good resource nilipata online ya HTML code. We can't probably exhaust everything, so I'll need as much resources as I can niwapatie juu they are there and they are very helpful, and there is a vast availability of resources online. So whichever nitapata nitawasaidia with them. So let's create that structure. So as you can see, ilikuwa doc type. I don't know if this thing will not complete. If it does, tutachana. And there's an exclamation mark at the beginning. So that's the whole thing. So alafu kuna hiyo ya HTML. Actually, I'm glad that my IDE does not have autocomplete, so we can write everything as it is. HTML. So this is the root element. You can see kwa the slides ilikuwa wanaita the root element, the root tag yenye inashikilia or everything. So everything that you see in a web page, I don't know if actually we don't even have to load a new web page. Hii yenye tunatumia hapa hivi, everything that you can see here. So you can see in the website iko inside that HTML tag hii yenye tunaona hapa hivi. So as you can see in the slides, wanaita the root element. So that's the root element. It's everything that you see in a web page. Ama ukivisit any website, that's what it shows, and that's where everything is stored. So we have created that first. Alafu kuna the head part. So we can create the head. And my autocomplete is back. So the head. So the head in a contained method. For those may have heard. Metadata is data about data. So let's acha tuende step by step. So in a web page, which is commonly referred to as the document, there is what you display in this area. Actually, I don't need to load some, like we can open a new web page to. Today my machine is a nightmare, but bear with me. What can we acha tufungue tu hii Junior Kenya. I want us to see what we mean by document, what we mean by the metadata and the information that is displayed. So any website yenye unaweza taka kuangalia you can see, lakini I hope this won't flag some copyright. Let's use something here to flag some copyright issues. Let's use something that won't flag some copyright issues.
Washington, I don't know. We can't hear you personally. I don't know if you're speaking. I don't know if kuna mtu anasikia Washington. Washington, we can't hear you. We don't know if you are talking.
I think we have lost connection with him because ananiambia he's talking and he thinks we're listening. Let me try to see what's the issue.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Oh yes, we can hear you.
Okay, that's a little embarrassing. My mic had muted itself. I don't know what was going on. Please forgive me. So I think this is where we last were. So I using VS Code. If you hovered on on some elements inakupeana about it. So and it's autocomplete is really nice. So as you can see, if you hovered here, unaona inasema the title element present the document's title or name. Authors should use to identify their documents when they used on, and as you can see, an MDN reference. If you hovered kwa HTML, the HTML element represents the root of an element, and hapa hivi unaweza ona it shows the value. I don't know if it will show. The head element represents a collection of metadata of the document. So there's this extension that people use kuandika HTML and CSS. I can afterwards so that you can go check it out. But since my machine is misbehaving, I don't want this, so please bear with me. Session, these things won't happen. You have my so hapa hivi ndani, there's something I want to show you. There's this thing called a meta abbreviation. VS Code. So if you typed the exclamation mark in a suggestion, so nilikuwa nataka ndio niwaonyeshe what we meant by. You can see hapa hivi there is a tag that is self closing, aina ile let me acha ni haribu, aina ile kitu inakaa hivi, aina hii stuff ime read as an ika complete venye inataka. Let me remove this. This element hapa hivi, aina hii, it's a self. This is what we mean by closing tag. It ends here without the tag ya hii part ya mwisho ya yenye iko na slash. So this is the part where the metadata comes in. Ukihover kwa inasema ina contain the metadata. So this is where the metadata comes around. So this is this attribute declares the page's character encoding. It maintains a standard IANA MIME name, EMIME, name for character encodings. Forgive me for those notifications. Standard doesn't request whatever specific. You can read those things on unaweza explore more. Defines the name of a piece of document level metadata. It should not be set if one of the attributes. Where is the important thing? This metadata is associated with the value contained in there. So, and there's this content attribute contains the value depending for the name or HTTP equivalent attribute depending on which used. So sometimes utapata zingine zikiwa na a lot of this depending on how they want to control their document. So here that's the metadata part. So hapa ndani ya body, this is where everything comes in. Hizo picha zenye unaona, those that text that you can see, forms that you can see, those images, everything and anything that can be displayed inside a web page ina contained hapa hivi ndani. So let's look for nini yenye hatutakuwa flagged for copyright stuff. I don't think Wikipedia wanaweza shida. So let's just to that metadata part. It is very important, especially kwa some people claim that it is important kwa SEO, search engine optimization. Sometimes it helps. There are attributes zenye unaweza weka that help people know about it, and they help them push your websites kwa searches. I'm yet that, lakini I've heard it helps. So as it loads, we can create these things zenye tulikuwa tumeona as a structure. So nitawatumia the resources that I have. You can check these things in detail. Nilikuwa naonyesha this outline head create. These are the things we intend to cover, or maybe you should let me open the preview. Be sensible. So in web development ama kwa HTML, these are you should cover. Kuna this introduction, tumecover the introductory part, the page structure, tags, and these are the things you should look at. So there is the element body, the tags. Hizi zote they are what powers everything you can see in a website. Whether it's a movie website, whether it's the school website, whether an e-commerce website, all these are used together in different structure to build whatever you can see ama whatever you website. And hopefully we shall in time. So as you can remember, the title nilionyesha mahali huwa inakujia, so we can this yenye ilikuwa auto generated to web 101. Whatever you play up hivi juu, let me show you where it comes. Some of you, I might have lost connection time. So this is the title part. So for those of you wenye wanajua kuinteract na the development tools, this won't be so strict. For those who don't, please bear with us. I need to show you the structure an actual work website. Ndio you can see the metadata part, you can see the body part. Now I can show you which is shown where. Let's switch that on. As you can see, there's the head part. Icon the head part. Let's reduce this. How do we reduce? I don't care. Oh yeah. So you can see our icon the head part, and it contains the metadata. Want all those stuff zenye iko. So including this icon hapa juu, the icon yenye huonekana kwa website, it's also included hapa hivi. So as you can see, the content huku hivi ni Wikipedia, the free and Wikipedia is a free online. You see, these things zinatumikanga ku describe whatever data that is in your website ama whatever data that is in that particular page, and that's why inaitwa the metadata. Lakini immediately tusha point kwa body. Let's minimize this part. As soon as we point to the body, imeka some blue, this part huku hivi imekuwa covered in a blue thing. So that shows that the body contains everything and that you see just below the browser huku hivi. So this is where everything is contained. So if to click this and to point at this part here, we can see this is where it is. Unaona? So basically hiyo ndo the use ya this head part. Inaonyeshananga everything and anything about what you're about to display. Like, you understand nisema the metadata information about whatever you want to display. You can see kwa Wikipedia wanasema it's an online free media, all that stuff. So it's used to describe whatever that is inside your website. And the body, we can, so we shall introduce the tags ama we shall introduce, tutapitia tu juu for the sake of time. I can see that our time is almost over, and once again I'm really sorry for the mishappenings, and I hope that they won't happen again. So I want us to do a basic introduction here, tags, and then immediately after, I'll send you the resources so that we can go through them. You can go through them individually and try out some things. I have some good PDF nilipata online in one of my free courses. I'll share them with you. Muone. So there's the heading, as you can imagine. So kuna headings, kuna paragraphs, kuna the lists. So leo tutafanya tu something basic. We can sorry. Hello. Welcome. And then we can do the paragraph. This is a paragraph. Okay, let's hello and welcome. This is a paragraph. Then we can go on if we did. So in the meanwhile, ikifunguka, there's some extensions if you want, if you're beginning with HTML unafaa kuinstall. This is for VS Code IDE. As you can see, there are some. So there's this HTML, CSS. Hii inafanyanga your IDE ijue that you're writing HTML and CSS code. And there's this live server. As you can see, if we open it, inasema launch a development local server with live reload for static and dynamic development. So I'll show you what that means in a minute. The live reload and stuff. It helps you to develop, as you can see, the develop and see the outcome. There's also another one yenye husaidia this live preview. Inasaidia, you can see the preview inside your IDE bila kutumia the browser. But for now, let me show you what I mean by this one here. So unaona hapa hivi it says that it is open on port 5500. So tunaweza kuja hapa hivi tuseme http, all these things we shall look at, localhost 5500 /index. I forgot something. So basically, inasaidia you can develop and immediately see whatever you're building. So as you can see, okay, ilikuwa imefungwa kwa browser. Let's close. Okay, let's first check this browser. Then we can come back to, oh, it's working. So as you can see, it shows this text that we have displayed. Inaonyesha huku kwa the simple. You can check in your IDE after you install those extensions, utaziona. I hope I'm still around. Can you still hear me? Please, someone say something.
Yes, we can hear you, Washington.
If you still can hear me. Okay, thank you. As you can see, this is what we have written in here, and it's what that's showing here. Okay, basically, it's because it's just it's ni tool ya developer ya kumsaidia kupunguza the moving around, but you can still view it in a web browser. As you can see, iko hapa pia kwa my Microsoft Edge imefunguka, but sometimes some of us feel like it's a little tiresome to move around, so there's something that hiyo ya nini haionyeshi, but the web browser can show. As you can see hapa hivi juu, there's the web dev 101. It is what we wrote hapa hivi kwa our code. It's web dev 101 right here. So the metadata I was telling you about, it is not displayed inside body, and there is no that utaona hii web dev 101 huku hivi ndani, huku the white part yenye iko na some text, it shall never be shown juu it's not inside the body. Basically that's what we mean by the body part. So unaweza ona our icon hapa hivi juu, it's something yenye it's just a placeholder. This is because when developing websites you will define your icon as well, inaitwa favorite icon ama favicon, however you want to call it. So you add it here. So I hope this has given a clear picture HTML, and I'll share the resources for those who are completely green to HTML. I'll share the resources. As you can see, there are different variables for these heading tags. Kuna H1, kuna H2, hadi H6. Let's try some wonderful things with this. Complete that for now. So there's a form. You can use the input text. You can add name. Don't mind this for now. So for those of you when you are okay, in case you hadn't noticed, this input tag, it's a self-closing tag. Aina that part. It does not need to display some text. Okay, let me acha nifanye some arranging hapa hivi. Unaona ukiwa tumeweka hivyo, it's a little clear. There is some need to it. As you can see, kuna different tags kwa HTML, and there are different elements. So some elements zina display text, some elements zina display images, zingine zina display video, whatever you can see. Now some other elements, they require input from you as a user, and in most cases those elements zinakuanga self-closing because they don't need to display anything. As you can see hapa hivi, this text that is within these tags ndio inakuwa displayed huku hivi ndani, but since the input does not require any input from you as a user, it does not have to have text, and that's why it's closing. Haihitaji, the tags don't do. Let me use a Swahili word ndio ikuwe easier. Haihitaji kufungia anything within itself. So that's the main difference between a self. So most of them zina display text, as you can see. So require you to input text. So in some unaonanga maybe a form is asking you to write something they call a label. We can do that, and then okay, let's get them to complete it. I think that would be alright. So this BR, it simply just means break. It's sort of what happens ukifinya the return, the enter, inaenda hapo hivyo chini for the next line. Let's say this. Sinaona this is the magic here, HTML and elements. So forgive me if I sound a little excited. I get a little excited, Nikki, when it comes to code. So beautiful, you do something and immediately see the result. So I hope they cleared some mist and some fog yenye iko kwa HTML and web development in general. So with time, introduce the styling, you might be wondering, why do these things look awfully odd? So don't worry about that. Kwa these tags, they have size, they have color. We can change those things by using CSS. It's just the flavor, or some people call it makeup. I may agree or disagree with them. Yeah. So we shall come to make it look a little better with CSS, which stands for, what is that? What does it stand for? It stands for something styling shit. How what C stands for. Oh dear lord. So that's what we'll be looking at in the sessions. So I feel like today was somewhere close to a disaster, given the condition of my machine. But forgive me, that won't happen again. For our next session, I hope it happen then. So thank you so much for bearing with me, and thank you so much for your patience. So thank you for listening. Uh, with the coming weeks, we shall clear the mist completely, and you shall see, feel the beauty of developing. For those who have not started, I know some of us Shanza, and some of us have already had this experience. But for those that are completely green to this stuff, we shall make you feel the beauty of creating stuff and building stuff. And I know itakuwa amazing experience for both, or for all of us. So once again, I'm really sorry. Judeo was semi-catastrophic. Yeah. So please install those extensions, mess around with the code. And one thing that I wish I was told in nikianza development, for those that are starting, everything and anything you create, hata kama utaunda hii yenye tumeunda, as simple as it is, this stuff yenye tumeunda, eka kwa GitHub. Last session niliwaonyesha how tuli create a GitHub account, and nikawaonyesha how to push and create repositories. So anything and everything, just iweke GitHub. Sorry, help. It will help you. GitHub is the new resume for developers. I've seen in most job applications, first they have a specific input for your GitHub profile link. So it will help. Anything ukianza, if you create uh, your first whatever it is, iweke kwa GitHub tafadhali. It will help. It will help a long way. So thank you so much. I'd like to invite Alex. That's all I had for today. I was just going to introduce the. I feel like CSS should have a day of itself, so next I introduce, and in the meantime nitawatumia some files muangalie. HTML itakuwa full HTML. Ufamiliarize with the elements, ufamiliarize with all the things that you can display in a website and all that stuff. Purely HTML without the involvement of CSS, and then on next week tutatumia CSS. Sasa next week itakuwa full CSS. I hope mtajituma kwa wenye that are still green tab. I hope mtajituma, you go through this stuff. Okay, I don't want to overload my machine. Lakini I'll send you the files. You shall see the things you shall be covering, and it shall help. So if Alex is still around, I'd like to return the mantle kwako so that you can give your remarks. So guys, that was it for me today, and thank you so much for listening. Thank you for bearing, and God bless you as you start or as you continue with your development journey. We're here for you, to support you and to help you. Mahali popote utahitaji any help, please speak and have fun coding. Thank you.
Yeah, so to Mr. Washington, thank you for that great session. It was really a very, very nice sessions. Yeah, I
Thank
just
you.
don't mind hizo misconvenience kidogo kidogo. Yeah, at least for a start tunaweza sema iko best. So just be
Thank
blessed.
you.
I don't know if kuna mtu mwingine akona, yeah, just be blessed. I don't know if kuna mtu mwingine akona swali or any clarification just like on how we have tackled the thing. Yeah, venye tumesema itakuwa best if we tackle HTML ikiwa yote, and then they just see like the plain or the undecorated website, and ili sasa
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ikae ndi, yeah, itakuwa tu best ikiwa hivyo. Me I see that one is good. The approach is
Thank
good.
you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so Mr. Washington, thank you a lot. I don't know
Thank
if
you.
Alex is still here or ama akona kitu ya kusema. Alex, if you're still here and you have something to say, just seems like ni kama ametoka. So I think we can just end up at there. Mr. Washington,
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. We can
tunaweza,
tunaweza
yes,
fungia hapo juu. Yeah, we can end there. Uh,
yes.
then I'll share the files. I'll nitashare na the members. So
Okay, yeah, yeah,
what they can,
sure.
yeah, they can familiarize themselves with the HTML stuff, purely HTML for a start. Then next week we shall dive deep into nini. Next week I hope sitakuwa na the inconveniences. I'll be very careful not to mess with the things. So thank you so much for bearing with me, Kevin. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah, welcome a lot. So
Yeah,
I just end up with the
yeah.
word of grace juu tulianza tuna maombi. So the grace of our
Okay.
Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God,
And
the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen.
forevermore. Amen. Amen.
So thank you guys. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your participation. Ensure that you at least do something by the end of the week or by the